Hi, if you're new here, my name's Sandra, and I have a set of encyclopedias from the 1920s. I started going over random sections in it, and the videos were going great. Turns out when you're not in a prison setting like public school, people love learning actual history. Anyways, once the videos got to the chosen side of TikTok, they did not like it, so they suppressed the account, and I haven't been doing as many videos. I thought I would restart. When we originally were doing it, a bunch of people asked for vampire. That was not in the encyclopedias. As you can see, it goes VAL to VAN. However, my husband found me another set of encyclopedias. These ones are about 30 years older, from the 1890s. These are the Chambers encyclopedias, and vampire is in there. So let's go over it. First off, these books are from the 1890s, so the vocabulary is different. If I mess up on a word, you don't have to leave me a stupid comment. If you don't want to be here, just go or block me. Vampire. One of the most gruesome superstitions in the world is that of the vampire, of the dead leaving their graves to destroy and prey upon the living. It is characteristically Slavonic, though by no means exclusively so, and it is strongest of all in White Russia and the Ukraine. It still dominates the popular imagination in Russia, Poland, Serbia, among the Czechs of Bohemia, and the Slavics of Hungary, and also in a less degree in Albania and Greece. The modern Greek term for a vampire is bupkonikos, which Bernhard Schmidt identifies with the Slavonic name of the werewolf, Bohemian Vlkodlak, in Bulgarian and Slavic Vrkolak, the regular name for the vampire in Serbia being Vkodlak, the Russian vampire, South Russia umpir, anciently Uper, Polish Upir. In his earthly life was a wizard, a witch, a werewolf, a suicide, or one cursed by his parents or the church. But even an innocent man may involuntarily become a vampire by himself falling victim to one, or merely by a cat or a bird accidentally crossing his corpse before its burial. And we find a survival of this notion in Henderson's account on how the Northumbrians at once put such a cat to death. Such bodies do not decay in the kindly earth, for when a vampire's grave is opened, no trace of death is seen on the corpse. He lies turned in his grave with fresh cheeks, open staring eyes, the skin, hair, and nails still growing. During the night he rises from his grave and sucks the blood of sleepers, who pine and die while he draws his nourishment from their life. He can only be laid to rest by a stake, in Russia of aspen, being driven through his body at a blow, a custom only abolished in the case of suicides in England by 4th Geo 9, chapter 52. Sometimes when he first awakes in the grave to his unhallowed shadowy life, he begins to gnaw his own hands and feet, or to chew his shroud, causing his kindred to pine away and die. In many cases, such witches only devour the hearts of their victims, or steal them out of their bodies, substituting for them the heart of a cock or a hare, and so destroying the nature. The stolen heart they expose over a magic fire in order to create hopeless love longings in the breast from which it was taken, an idea which Jacob Grimm says lies at the foundation of our metaphorical phrases within the vocabulary of love, of giving or stealing one's heart. I didn't know that. Such a notion of a nocturnal demon eating out the souls or hearts of sucking the blood of men gives to the primitive mind a natural and rational explanation of such phenomena as a patient seen becoming from day to day without apparent cause thin, weak, and bloodless. We find it widely prevalent in popular folklore and embedded in the doctrine of folk medicine, sorcery, and witchcrafts everywhere. And Dr. Tyler refers it directly to the principles of savage animism. We need not linger over Afansef's mythological interpretation of how the sucking of the sleeper's blood symbolizes the drawing of rain from the clouds by the thunder god and the spirits of the storm at the close of the death-like sleep of winter. The likeness to the corpse-eating ghouls of Oriental folklore and the Aluka of Proverbs 30:15 is apparent, and scarcely less the points of contact with the still more widely spread superstitions of the werewolf. Teutonic mythology has parallels enough of animated corpses returning to satisfy a thirst for blood or their carnal appetites, and it is a commonplace of popular folklore that it is fatal to meet a revenant of any nature. Revenant of any nature. Hertz notes that little is known of regular corpse spectres among races which burn their dead, and Hanush maintained that therefore the ancient Slavonics who burned the dead must have borrowed the vampire superstition from some other race. But as Ralston points out, it is not certain that burial by cremation was universally practiced by the heathen Slavonians. Kotlyarvik's conclusion being that there never was any general rule, some burying without burning, others burning first and then burying the ashes. Isn't that crazy? And then it tells you a bunch of books that you can look into for more information. So what should we go over next? Or if you look through, we've gone through tons of stuff in this one. Should we see the comparisons in this one?